Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Mogbe, right here in Lagos.
The greetings to you wherever you are in the world watching us. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. Cecilia, action-packed world of sports. I see we'll play some basketball tonight. I'll definitely show you my footballing skills when we talk about football. And of course, what's going on at the Niger Delta Sports Festival. So much to talk about tonight, so I'm ready. If you're ready, Cecilia, let's go.
Hey, I'm ready, but the first thing I want to see is that your football skills. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you have to stand up to do that.
Cecilia,
on the show
you know
tonight,
class is permanent. Don't start acting like you don't know I play good football. I was captain of the Channels TV team for a very long time.
How many trophies
and I've
did
still
you
got
win?
my skills. Come on.
Okay, what counts is actually the trophies, not how many games you play or how well you play. But the trophies, nothing to show for it. Yeah, this is what the show looks like tonight. Yes, Austin mentioned the Niger Delta Sports Festival. We'll be talking about that. Updates coming from Uyo, all the events that took place earlier today. And also, we will, yes, basketball is on the menu. And that's actually what we're starting off with on the show tonight. The Basketball African League, of course, the NBA-backed African League, which is starting tomorrow. And of course, for Rivers Hoopers, the team representing Nigeria, they are ready to play. They'll be opening the games tomorrow right there in Rabat, Morocco. Yes, the media officer, media and communications manager. Yes, she's upgraded. Queen Marcel will be joining us on the show tonight. Talk more about the team, how ready they are to take it a notch higher after finishing third in last edition. Yes, season 5 of the Basketball African League. We will dwell on that on the show tonight. And of course, the big one, we've been waiting for it when it was announced last year in June, talking about the Grand Slam Tracks Series. It's starting tonight about 10 p.m. Yes, in Kingston, Jamaica. That's when it's starting tonight. 96 athletes, 48 racers, 48 challengers. But we look at all the names, we don't have any Nigerian there. But you have all the top athletes you can think of across the world. It's more like a kind of an offshoot of what happened in Paris Olympics, because all the gold medalists you can think of, apart from Noah Lyles, they are all in Kingston, Jamaica, getting ready to hit the track. Yes, that will get our attention tonight on the show. $100,000 prize money. That's how huge it is. Athletics League, yes, that's what it's more like. It's the Grand Slam of the Athletics Series. We'll dwell on that on the show tonight. Of course, the NPFL will get our attention, and the EPL will also get our attention. And the big one that happened earlier today, at the end, we'll be waiting for it, right? At the end of the season, Kevin De Bruyne will be leaving Manchester City. But the question I've been asking, will he play at the FIFA Club World Cup? Well, we really don't know, but his contract will run out in June. Yes, so much on the show tonight. Everton and Arsenal. Why that is actually special is because of the return of David Moyes to Everton. And Arteta, you remember what he did at Everton when he was still playing. And the Manchester Derby is also this weekend. Yeah, it's a loaded package tonight. And of course, right here in the studio, Kwemi Akyode is right here with me. It's good to have you, James.
Well, it's my pleasure. It's another Friday. I think it should be the first Friday for the month of April.
Yes.
So we're driving fast, and it's a big weekend. More than anything else, the Basketball African League for me is the highlight of what I'm expecting. I mean, we saw, you know, how the Rivers Hooper was able to, you know, create history for themselves the last time, finishing third. And they were hoping that they can do themselves a world of good by finishing maybe a bit higher, maybe second in Rabat, Morocco. But why not? Who says they can't go all the way, you know, to get the job done? Of course, for the Nigerian Premier Football League, is gradually looking more like it's Remo Stars to lose, or maybe Remo Stars to win, depending on what part of the, you know, where your loyalty stays. But like I told a friend this evening, I said, if anything happens, please, let me be alive to watch the game between Remo Stars and Ikorodu City. And I want a situation where Remo Stars will have won the league and Ikorodu City will form guard of honor for Remo Stars. I mean, the NPFL had given us a lot of twists. It's been a while we had this level of rivalry. Even with 8 points, Remo Stars are still not exactly 100% home, you know, done and dusted. So there's so much to look out for. For Manchester Derby, I can't remember the last time we'd have a derby that would not have the balls and the razzmatazz of what we're expecting in a typical Manchester Derby. So, of course, maybe the end of an era. Kevin De Bruyne, where does he rank in the league of the top midfielders to have ever played the English Premier League? We'll have a lot to talk about on the show today, Cecilia. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. All right, we're going to start it off with basketball. Queen Mosef is ready. If she's ready to join us, we'll be starting up with her, talking about the D Tigress. Oh, my goodness. Rivers Hoopers basketball. Queen is joining us from Rabat, Morocco. Queen, it's great to have you join us on the show tonight.
Yeah, good evening, Cecilia. I know you're used to talking about the national teams because we don't have a lot of activities. But it's great to be here. Great to join you this evening.
It's great to have you. Austin is also on the show, but I'm going to start up with you before Austin will come in. All right, I mean, tomorrow is starting the jump ball on Saturday, of course. The Rivers Hoopers, I know already they are really raring to go because there's so much. There's so much expectation right now. When it's the third time they're participating, the first time, we're not really thinking so much about it. The second time, yes, they went on to finish third. And now, as your coach mentioned before you guys left for Rabat, Morocco, he says people already know that you have a team from Nigeria, Rivers Hoopers. So obviously, all eyes will be on Rivers Hoopers, what they can do this time around. How prepared is the team for season 5?
Well prepared. I can say our team is much better than what we had last year. It's an upgrade. A lot of people were clamoring for the return of Will Perry, one of the best point guards in the BAL, but he couldn't return. But that aside, looking over these replacements and other departments that we've recruited this time around, I would say it's an upgrade of last year. From point guard to the center is an upgrade of last year. So I think we are prepared and we are ready to go. We've had like few weeks, though we would have wanted us to play in maybe Dakar. Nobody would have thought that we'll play in Rabat, Morocco, because judging by previous editions of the BAL, we've always been playing in Dakar. So when the news got out, the conference was announced that we were going to be playing in Rabat, Morocco. We're like, wow, this is shocking. Like, this is quite different. If we're not going to get Dakar, maybe Rwanda. Not like we're underrating Rabat or Morocco, but proximity and also application of visas and all that. For Dakar and Rwanda, it's always visa on arrival for Nigerians. So, but you know the process you will have to go through and then going up north. So it was quite different for us to go to Rabat. And for you to play in Rabat means that you have to play first. You are playing the first conference. So you need to be quick about submitting your recruitment, your roster, and also get into your groove by preparing, gathering your players to come train with you and all that. So but I think we try to be as quick as possible and assemble our players quickly for those foreign imports which were recruited. So I could say that we are ready, and it's just about going into tomorrow's game and to put together what we've been training in the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks and see what we'll be able to achieve in this season.
Austin?
I like it. I like it. Queen, it's good to have you on the show. A shout out to you and the team right there at Rivers Hoopers. I know you have a small team, but you do well to let us know what's going on with the team. We're proud of you. Well done. And so, Queen, you said this is an upgrade of the team that we saw last year. Should we be expecting a trophy then?
Austin, wow, that's over-ambitious. That's good. It's good because everybody comes to the BAL for the trophy. So it would be a bad idea or out of place if the Nigerian team wins the BAL. A lot of people have been looking out for a Nigerian team to win because on the continent or even Africa and in the world, we are highly ranked when it comes to basketball. So why not? Why not? So, but when I mean upgrade in terms of there's some players who offensively they are just good at being offensive players. But this time around, we try to go for players who can create that sort of balance. You're as good at your offense and your defense, not your other players trying to cover for you defensively and while you just have to face the offense. So, like, for example, we had Divine AK, was very good offensively, like was good with the alley hoops, the dunk and all that, could shoot as well. So, but an upgrade of Divine AK is a magic architect who can also do what Divine does. But what is different about him is that he's very good defensively. He also has the size. So that's the upgrade I'm talking about. I like it. An upgrade of point guard. Last year we had so much work on Will Perry. He played so many minutes on the floor. We had no backup point guard last year, apart from our domestic player we had last year. So we knew that we needed a backup point guard. So this time around, we didn't just go for a main point guard. We also went for a backup point guard who can also fill in whenever the main point guard needs to rest. So those are the upgrades that I speak of at the moment.
Yeah, you know, I had to jump on you that way because, I mean, if we finished third with the team that we had last time, and now you said there's an upgrade, and I'm not wrong expecting the trophy. Queen.
But you know that Austin, if unlike last year, nobody was expecting us to go far. That is just the truth. They knew that when teams don't do well, you just come and then participate and go your way. But we stunned the team. The home team has the one from the first game, and people were like, "Wow, what are we trying to do? We won the first, the second, the third, and before you knew, we lost the other one. Before we won the other one to make it 4 wins. So it was shocking for everyone to see. So, but this time around, they've already know what we can do. This time around, they want to see, okay, can you replicate what you did last year? Let's see what you have up your sleeve. So now the pressure is on us to deliver what we did last year. Unlike last year where we're not under pressure, we're like underdogs. Nobody was expecting us to do anything. But this time around, it's totally different. So you need to match up whatever you have done last season and ensure you recruit properly and prepare well and then go to battle.
I totally agree with you. Queen, when are you getting your basketball coaching certificate? Because I see you're moving away from being an analyst. But let's talk about Will Perry. Let's talk about Will Perry and the contribution he gave to the team the last time. He's not in the team this year. Which player in this current squad can give us the sort of numbers that Perry gave us last year?
Let's not forget we still have Kelvin Amayo, who is a combo guard. It's not just defensively he's also good. He also made the BAL all-defensive team for the season. Know what he'll be to offer. He's also an assist king, very good with the assist and steals. So it is one person who will carry the team, and is one person who they will look up to. Will Perry was not just that player on the court who could shoot, who is also very good offensively from the free throw line and all that, and three-point line as well. He was a leader on and off the court. So you need that sort of leader who would also pass on and be an exemplary leader. He's also doing well on court and pass it on to the younger ones and other ones to listen. So I think Kelvin Amayo fixed that. So, but we shouldn't go past the likes of Maxi Shamba. A lot of people don't know Maxi Shamba. Maxi Shamba is the DR Congolese player. It's the main point guard of their national team, helped them to qualify to the AfroBasket. They even did so well in the February window just a few months ago, just 2 months ago. So he's one good player. And let's not forget, for those of you who didn't follow, just like we see in football, we have the Chan. We also have something like the Chan in basketball, which started in 2019. And at 2019 competition, which was the first edition, Maxi Shamba was the MVP of that particular tournament. He plays in France, so he's a very good point guard, well experienced, and he sees the court. He has very good vision, very good vision. So it's one person we cannot sleep on. Those two, we're counting on them. And everyone, really, like my coach will always say, doesn't like pointing out names and all of that. He's a team person. It goes for team togetherness, team spirit, team chemistry. Everybody, there's strength in numbers. What can you offer so that if you are sleeping, the other one can carry you. Everybody, that's strength together.
Yeah, that's Coach Odaudu's headache. He's the one that will keep his team. Ours as pundits, as analysts, we just want to know the team that will get us talking. Cecilia, I'm sure you would agree with that, and getting ready also to let us see the fixtures.
Absolutely. I mean, before we take a look at the fixtures, I'm going to throw this to Kaide. You've listened to, you listened to everything Queen has said. You know, like they've recruited well. I mean, and some of the home-based players I've loved to. She doesn't mention anyone. It's not the foreign-based player. But hey, it's more like an upgrade of what they had last. You think this team that she just mentioned can actually go a step further, because what Austin wants is the trophy. I'm not putting pressure on them. The pressure is from us.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's any problem when you put pressure on them. The idea of having an upgrade is to have a better result.
Yeah.
And not just having an upgrade where you have a more balanced team is good. Someone that doesn't just offer you offensively. I kind of felt, Perry was a game changer for us the last time out. Just like, Queen Moses said, he wasn't just a player on the court, he was a leader. Even when he's sitting by the side, a few minutes he was out, not playing. playing. He was always pushing the guys forward. So when you say you have an upgrade, if you have an average team in quotes with little or no expectation, and they could go that far, 4 out of 5 games, then an upgrade should mean that you go farther than you did the last time. So I understand, the communication manager trying to play it safe so that we don't build the pressure. But at top level, pressure is the game. Pressure is what pushes the guy to know what. You know what? Nigerians have tasted and they've had a feel of this level of success. Let us give them more. And more means the upgrade you have converts you to winning more. I want to see the Rivers Super coming with it. They play Stade Malien tomorrow. Maybe a bit of an advantage on their side because of the chemistry they've got, good recruitment. I was going through the team list earlier today, and I'm like, why not? Why can't we start on a good note? Why can't we just kill through? And they've known us now. We have been found out. So let's just do this thing and get the result.
That's what is important. Let's take a look at the fixtures for Rivers Hoopers, starting off with the game for Saturday, Stade Malien, which they are playing 4 p.m., that's the jump ball, and of course is in Rabat, Morocco. So this is what everyone is looking forward to. As Queen mentioned, they never expected they will be going to Morocco, either Dakar, Senegal, or Kigali. That's usually the place. But this time around is different. So this game, that's where they're starting off from. So, Queen, I mean, how well do you guys really know these teams? I know Rivers Hoopers have recruited so well. Obviously, other teams will definitely recruit well.
Most definitely. I can tell you everyone has recruited well. You all want to admit that you did your business well. So, but it's when you get on court that would matter what your recruits will be able to do on the floor and how you'll be able to employ your recruit with your style of play. Your style of play really matters with the kind of players you've brought in. Some players are just coming for the numbers, for their own personal numbers, while some players are coming for the goal of winning together. So it depends on what your recruit is coming to do. Stade Malien are not unknown to the BAL. They also finished 3rd position like us in 2023. And in 2023, when they got to the BAL, that was like their first season. That's their inaugural season for them. But they went as far as the 3rd place finish. So it's like 2 3rd place finishers are going head to head with each other. But I like it, the fact that these two are starting off before the others. We are facing a Malian team, a West African side. We play almost the same style in terms of aggression, physicality. We will go toe-to-toe, definitely. They have kind of some few shooters that would want to look out for, but you can't take away the physicality of Stade Malien, which is what they are very good at. We also have that. So we also have athleticism. So it is going to be who goes ahead of the two of them. But I can admit that this conference is tough. I understand that your guest is saying we should go as far as the pressure, yes, we should go. I totally understand. But despite the fact that I am the media and communications manager of this team, I also like to be realistic. This conference is tough. It's very tough. I can tell you. We are facing Al-Ittihad. We are facing First Rabat, who are the home team. It's tough. And any team from Egypt is very, very tough. Then you now add in the Moroccan team. So, but I like the fact that we're playing Stade Malien. It will help you assess the strength of your team, how ready you are. So, but Stade Malien are a very good side, as much as we are. Everyone will claim they've recruited, but at the end of the day, what will matter is what you do on court. Like I mentioned, they have aggression, also a very physical side as well. So, but I think we also have those players. And like you asked a few minutes ago, Cece, we talked about, I didn't mention the domestic players. We shouldn't forget we have Ifeanyi Coco, who is also a very good forward player. We have Samuel Sani, a young player who could actually be a breakout star in the BAL. If he can bring up his A game, we might see a breakout star from Samuel Sani. So, but it's going to be interesting facing Stade Malien. I like the fact that we are facing a fellow West African side. But at the end of the day, we would see.
We'll see, right? I'll just take a look at, wrap up all the other games for this weekend before we let Queen go. For Sunday, Stade Malien will be facing Al-Ittihad Alexandria of Egypt. And of course, a Saturday game, after the first game, you also have another game involving the host nation, Stade Malien, and of course, you have Rivers. Okay, These are the game for Sunday. Rivers Hoopers up against Saudi Malian and Al Ittihad. These are some of the games you will be expecting on that day. Queen, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight on the show. Hopefully, when we talk to you again, I mean, we would have been done with all these earlier games and be maybe celebrating 4-4, right?
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Thank you so much. We go on a break. When we come back, of course, the Grand Slam track series will get our attention. $100,000. Yes, that's the prize money for that. Stay with us. We are turning our attention now to the Niger Delta Sports Festival, Day 3. Some of the events that went down earlier today. We'll just run through them and, of course, see. Well, we're still waiting for the medals table to start counting because the host state says they are hosting to win. We don't know how true that is. But I'll just run through the updates on Day 3 of the Niger Delta Sports Festival. Now, Delta State, Chinalu Olise, he won the 50 meters men butterfly swimming event. I mean, he started rolling in, right? And of course, also from Delta, Chineye Olubu won the 50 meters women butterfly swimming event. And he come to Edo, Emmanuel Salubi winning gold in men's 400 meters hurdles and in a time of 51.86 seconds. Now, this is a good time. Also, Emmanuel Obasuwa from Edo State also winning gold in para shot put with a throw of 8.63 meters. And of course, traditional wrestling, I mean, Imo actually dominated this with 6 wins. I was expecting Akwa Ibom to actually dominate this one, but it's not happening. But it's Imo that actually dominated the traditional wrestling. Now, you come to the chess rapid event, a result for today. Uriah Patrick from Delta won gold, and silver went to Ekuke Ode Goodness from Bayelsa. So that's for the chess event. And of course, for the women, Deborah Ebimobo from Bayelsa winning gold, and silver went to Palomo Jessica from Bayelsa. So Bayelsa actually, they're good chess players from all indication. Bronze medal went to Ebiapo Sunshine, also of Bayelsa. So it was a clean sweep for the chess rapid event for the Bayelsans. And bronze went to Usainde Kingsley of Edo State. So that's for the chess rapid event. So let's take a look at basketball now. For the men's category, Edo State are losing to Imo by 40-32, and Abia and Cross River. It was Cross River who won this 46-35 points. That's for basketball men's category. For the women, it was Akwa Ibom beating Ondo 24-14. Imo losing to Cross River. Now this is a thrashing, 51-11. 40-point game. Edo losing to Rivers 39-25, and Bayelsa. Okay, now this is another one. What? 49. Yeah, that's okay. That's what it's like for the basketball women. Apparently, some teams just came and showed themselves, and they had to go back. Akwa Ibom, and for the handball event, Akwa Ibom 11 and Rivers 9. You have Imo losing to Ondo 22-17. That's for handball in the men's category. Now, take a look at that of the women. For the women, Delta beating Imo 14-6, and Edo beating Abia 8-6. That's a close result right there for the handball result for the women's category. So it's still going on. It's day 3. And of course, expectations are high, and we're expecting so much are coming from there. Austin, Niger Delta Sports Festival is heating up.
You know, I like it. I sincerely, I love the level of competition that I've seen at this Niger Delta Sports Festival. I love the turnouts. I love the fact that the athletes are motivated, particularly the youngsters. What I want the organizers to do, as part of, the metrics for development, you start taking down important lessons. This is the first edition, and find out ways that you can track some of the successes that you are getting already. For instance, I see that they are still big at win at all costs. No. Let's use this. Particularly the Niger Delta has been responsible, I think, in the last 10 years for about 60% of our top elite athletes. And you want to give a big shout out to Delta State for that. Now, when you do this sort of competition, you should be big on long-term planning. no disrespect, I repeat, no disrespect to the rules that have been laid down and all of that for this Niger Delta Sports Festival, but because I'm just an advocate for sports development, I don't feel the objective being achieved when Favour Ashe is coming to run against obscure athletes. Yes, I know they will say they put in the rules that as long as you are under the age of 25, but Favour Ashe is elite, you know. So if you want to help the region discover younger talents, think long term, you know, and find a way to say, okay, the Niger Delta will use this sports festival to create a pool, a production process for talent discovery, nurture, and development of athletes in Nigeria, then that's a long-term objective, you know. But shout out to the organizers for even thinking about this and giving us a reason to talk about sports at this level.
Right.
I thought about it when I saw Favour Ashe, you know, just having an easy run, and there are also some elite athletes here and there also. Does it also worry you that could, in a way, blur the main objective of talent discovery?
I think overall it's basically a reflection of the mindset of the sporting setup of the country. So you see 8 grade competitions, you see the win at all cost mentality, even at under 17.
This is elite.
No, I'm just saying. So you have a situation whereby even the under 17, under 20, you want to win at all cost, and it's basically what we're saying. If you say is open, is elite, I understand. But of course, in this process, you'll always know that these athletes that have seen the best, they've been exposed to the biggest of facilities, they've had the best of tracks. When they come to that level, there's always this competitive advantage that they have. Well, maybe it's not their fault that they are less than 25, it's not that this, but it's almost like saying Ahmed Musa, because he's playing in the Nigerian Premier Football League, he should play at the CHAN.
I think what they did here was to like open it to everyone, but it's only football and boxing that you don't have professionals in it. But that's what they want, so everybody can come.
So that's
why it's a festival. I mean, that's why it's a festival. That's why you have the National Sports, the State Sports Council that should discover talent. And of course, from the younger athletes who compete here, and if you compete against someone like Favour Ashe, I think it's going to help those who are running alongside the athletes. Okay, I'm competing with these top stars. I can also be maybe like a role model. I don't know, that's how I see it. That's what I feel. That's why when they brought out the whole rules and regulation, I felt, okay, oh, this is what they want. I think it's good. If someone like, S.A. Bruyne wants to come for the long jump, it's fine. You have other athletes coming because it's open. If you're producing up to 200 athletes from your end, if you can do that, why not? So I think making it open, it's fine, because if you want to discover talent, I mean, what is this? What are they doing?
I get that objective.
So I feel it should be open. It's a festival. It's a ceremony. So everyone should come and enjoy.
What I'm trying to say is, yes, one obscure athlete who was a local champion in Akwa Ibom State wants to run against Favour Ashe, who has been here and there. I feel motivated, but comparative advantage is there already. And particularly with discovering and nurturing talent, you want to make sure that there's a framework that you have in place to make sure you get your objectives. So that's just what I'm trying to say.
Okay. I hope the organizers are listening and weigh the options and say which is better. But I love the fact that everyone is competing. I mean, if I can play chess, I can also go compete and, and earn some money. All right.
And get beaten.
Austin, okay. Let's talk about the Grand Slam right now, because usually you talk about Grand Slam in tennis, but he's coming to track and field. And at first, when I read about it, I was like, what's this all about? Why are we having something like a Grand Slam track series? How will this work? Well, after it was broken down and I saw the athletes that are competing, like, yes, this is what it is. This is more like a league. I mean, you have the athletes, something that they look forward to every year, and we don't have to wait to the Olympics or to the World Championships to see the very best of the athletes. But right now you have just like what we witnessed at the Olympics. That's what we're going to be witnessing starting tonight in Kingston, Jamaica. From there, it's going to go to Miami, from Miami, Philadelphia, from there to LA, from April to September. Every weekend, you're going to be seeing that. I mean, this is big. That's why I'm really excited. I just hope Nigerian athletes will be able to share in this. But hey, I was looking at all the names. I checked and checked and checked. And the challenger before we have Ofili, the name was there, but it's no longer there. But you just have the racers 48 and the 48 challengers and everything. So this is big?
Absolutely, super big. I think when Michael Johnson brought up that idea, maybe a lot of people didn't, just like you were a bit pessimistic, like how would this work? And maybe it looks like the Royal Rumble thing of wrestling when you see all the Randy Orton, you see John Cena, everybody, all the superstars in the ring and all of that. So I was looking like, how would this work? Then when I also read the breakdown, I'm like, okay, it's a brilliant idea. A lot of us that super follow athletics, you probably have to wait for maybe the Diamond League, for instance, or then the championships, or the Olympics, or the Commonwealth Games, or the meets, before you have all of those superstars. But it's a basic, it's almost like they've given us so much to enjoy. So you have superstars, all the big stars coming together in one pool, and every weekend there's 4 here, there's 4 here. It's beginning from in Jamaica this weekend. The next one is like a round-robin thing. You have the opportunity to see your superstars every single weekend. The sustainability was what I had fear about. Then I remember that it is not our thing, it is their thing. So I'm sure they have a long-term plan. They have a way to sell it. You and I had the conversation before we went on this issue that brands would swoop on this. They would
just look at Sydney. Sydney hardly competes outside
all
the US.
of the monies into this. The big brands would pump in their money, put the money where their mouth is, because the longer this thing goes, the more popular it becomes, the more elite athletes struggle to be in this space. So it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win-win for Michael Johnson that had the idea. It's a win-win for the elite athletes. It's a win-win for their sponsors. It's a win-win for their brand. So that when the major tournament comes, Cecilia, you know that you're in top shape because we've been running, you know, at the slams. It's a win-win situation, and I hope that maybe the next edition, I don't know, maybe we would have Nigerian athletes competing at that top level. I mean, we've seen Nigerian athletes do well at the Diamond League, so why not? Why can't we get into this one, Cecilia?
Okay, don't ask me, but I know one of them was actually here, but injury prevented from being.
One out of how many?
Okay, you have to look at the level they are currently at now, if they're really ready for this, or most of them are praying for World Championship. But I think what this, okay, let's listen to Michael Johnson talking about this and some other athletes. Gabby Thomas is one of those athletes who's actually excited for this, especially when she mentioned that track and field is not being run as a professional sport.
That we're on the right track. We're doing something that the athletes have always wanted. They have always wanted to compete against their rivals and have high-level competitions throughout the year instead of once every 4 years in the Olympics. We're delivering on that, so that's exciting.
I signed fast because I wanted something that would help change the sport. There's been a lot of talk about people wanting to change, and nobody's really taking the initiative, actually, you know, taking the first few steps in order to have that happen. And Michael Johnson finally gave us the opportunity to change the trajectory of the sport.
Some people are going to prepare for the meet, other people are going to train through the meet. I think that's kind of where we are right now, is open the season up, figure out where we're at, see our fitness, and, you know, it's a long year, so we'll figure out when we need to really push. But for right now, I just want to walk away healthy and get the experience. You know, just being here is really exciting. So people love track and field. Every 4 years they tune in, and so we're finding solutions to keep people invested in our sport and watching us compete. Athlos was an incredible first event for that. I mean, they really set the blueprint for what these meets should look like, and I'm excited to see what Grand Slam does too. The way track and field has kind of traditionally been ran is not much of a professional sport, right? It's run like an amateur sport. But when you have a league like this where we are actually paid and we are expected to show up, that's what professional sport is. And so that's what this is bringing to track and field, and it's really important because that's how you develop a fan base.
Austin, before we move to the NPFL, quickly, a quick one on this word, the Grand Slam, you know, of athletics, the series starting tonight. Once you step on the track, I mean, you have $10,000 guaranteed. That's it.
Love it, you know, and Gabby Thomas summed it up so well. She's just trying to say, look, people might think track and field is big, but a lot of people still see it as some amateur kind of thing because they haven't really identified the market. So Michael Johnson has looked at it and said, how can we make this thing competitive? And whether or not you like it, Cecilia, it's a show of power. They're just trying to tell Europe that we can actually own this athletic business. We are going to have 4 of the slams. Where will we be going after Kingston? The remaining 3 venues, where are they?
Miami,
States of
USA.
America. Exactly. That is the show of power right there that no one is seeing. They want to own the space. They want to own the market. They're identifying means now to tell athletes that if you want to make it in this athletic business, then the United States is the destination, Cecilia.
Because that's where the market is. Nike, Puma, all of them. They're out there. All right, let's take a look at match day 32 of Nigeria Premier Football League. Yes, so many games this weekend. All the games are precisely starting from games on Saturday. You have Heartland and Kano Pillars in action. Kano Pillars having their coach back after 58 days of suspension. Benin Insurance hosting Rangers. That's the first of the leg because both teams are meeting in the President Federation Cup. Let's look at games for Sunday. Plateau and Kwara United. You have Rivers United and Remo Stars, Lobby Stars and Sunshine Stars, Katsina United and Bayelsa United. They're also in action on Sunday for match day 32. You also have other games coming up on Monday. If you can quickly see that, I'll just look at Niger Tornadoes and Economic Warriors, Nasarawa United, Akwa United, and you have Eyimba and Abia Warriors, 3SC and Ikorodu United. Yeah, these are the teams we are looking at. Quickly, Austin, just pick one, and I'll give you 3 seconds. No, it's not possible. 30 seconds.
30 seconds. I'll just do a wrap-up. I want to see what Eyimba can do to get their season back after losing to Remo Stars. Whenever Remo Stars are in the conversation, you must talk about them. Whenever Abia Warriors are in the conversation, you must have a look at them also. And maybe Shooting Stars, how can they salvage their season after that run of 7 matches without a win, you know? So you want to also go down to the relegation battle and see teams that can likely go down or survive. Aqua United showing that they can actually fight and stay up. What can they do also on match day 32? So that's the overview for me and those teams that I'm looking forward to see, Cecilia, what they can do.
Miami. Overview.
Well, I'm looking forward to the game between Rivers United and Remo Stars. I think we talked about this last week Friday. I mean, you look at the run of both teams. For Remo Stars, they have, as at the last week, it was 8 games for them, more 5 away, 3 at home. And now they'll be playing away from home against this weekend against Rivers United. It's going to be a very tough game. For 3SC and Ikorodu, City, that's a Southwestern derby, of course. So it could go either way. But if you look at the Ikorodu City, I'm sure at the end of the season, they will sit back and say, did we really punch above our weight and expectations this season? I think they did. I'm sure at the start of the season, the plan was come in, stay up, don't get relegated. But it looks like they are the bride of the season right now. I'm also looking forward to Plateau United and Kwara United. Since Plateau United, a manager, Marsat, was given a 3-match ultimatum where he won 2 and drew 1. They've picked up on their run. It seems they've gotten their mojo back. They are pushing high on the other side of the table. And let's also see how they can go. But for Abia Warriors, they're also pushing to get into the top 4. I think the last 4 games, they've not lost a single game. So they're gaining points, they're pushing up. I think for the first time in a very long time, Cecilia, we're having a Nigerian Premier Football League that is giving us twist at the top, blend at the middle, and some form of relaxation at the end of the season.
Yeah, some people actually relax at the bottom. I know what you're saying right there. All right, we won't leave the show without talking about Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, that's a star. Pep Guardiola summed it up for all of us, how great he is at Manchester City, because he hasn't left, so that's what we're using. He is at Manchester City. Let's take a listen to him.
Passage,
a happy day for the fact that the pleasure personally that we live, or I live this time with him, with his humanity, and of course, don't necessarily tell his influence in our success in the last decade. That would be impossible to imagine, without him. And a sad day because, of course, it's part of us, he's living. So when Vincent left, or Sergio left, or David Silva left, and these players have been contribution. And I will say more names. So these example 3. Still we have 10 games and hopefully 11 and 6 games at home that we can enjoy with our fans, and he will get, I'm pretty sure, the love and the recognition that he deserves. I think I've been involved in every today or yesterday 280 goals in terms of goals and assists in the Premier League. So the Premier League is one of the greatest midfielders I ever played in this country, and I think that this club is no doubt about. Always when you say is the greatest, not the greatest, so it's always have to be careful for respect for the, players who play main roles and incredible players that play for the last, 20, 30 years in this club. But come on, there's no doubt he's one of the greatest for sure, because of his consistency, except the last year and a half that I had injury problems, and the consistency and in important games and not important games, and every 3 days being there all the time. So that is no doubt.
How great it is. We'll quickly run through this. I'll get reaction from these 2 guys, and we will leave the studio. Everton and Arsenal in action this weekend. Saturday, Crystal Palace, Brighton, Ipswich Town and Wolves. You have West Ham United and Bournemouth, Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest. For Sunday games, that's where you have the Manchester Derby, Manchester City and Man United in action, Tottenham and Southampton, Fulham and Liverpool, of course, Brentford and Chelsea. Austin, you want to sum it up for Kevin De Bruyne now? Leaving at the end of the season.
Fantastic player. I've been looking at his stats all day, and he's arguably one of the best that the Premier League has ever seen. 70 goals, 118 assists, 280 appearances, 2-time player of the season award, 6 Premier League titles, and 3 Playmaker awards. Kevin De Bruyne, definitely a legend of the game. Manchester City will miss him, and the sport will also miss him. Unfortunately, we don't have much time to talk much about it. And Super Sunday, that will feature Manchester United and Manchester City. But that's it. That's where the curtain falls on this edition of Sports Tonight on Channels Television. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
I know you want to chip in something on Kevin De Bruyne before we run out of the studio at Manchester Derby.
Well, I think the number says it all.
Yeah.
And I also feel it's that time he said his goodbyes. He's paid his dues. He's done it all. You can't talk about the history of Man City right now, whether at Pep and not mention Kevin De Bruyne.
Okay.
Maybe out of respect, he won't stay in England, but he's still a top player.
He is, all right. Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me, Cecilia.
And thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a good night's rest.